And away we go.
You're listening to Live on Four Legs, the live Pearl Jam podcast experience, featuring
Mr. Stone Gossard. Fucking Cameron in the jump. Mr. Boom Gasper. You can call me Al, you can call me Ed, you just fucking call me, why don't you?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live on Four Legs podcast, the definitive live Pearl Jam podcast, and we have a really fun and special episode today. Usually when we come on and do the show, it'll be me and a guest, either a guest that isn't on the show usually or one of our co-hosts, but today we're going to do something a lot different. It's not going to be a lot of breakdown of a set. It's going to be more of stories, and it'll be, I guess, a little bit of a love story. Basically we're doing this because we're getting married this weekend, and I decided that it would be a good time to introduce you all to my future wife, who's going to be my wife in a couple of days. This is Jillian.
Hi.
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 She's a little nervous coming on the show. She's never been on the show before.
Not my thing.
No, not your thing. So we'll take it easy, and I won't grill you too much.
All right, that'd be good.
And we won't do a lot of breakdown like, well, what do you think the meaning of this song is?
My answer would be, I don't know.
Yeah, I figured so. But you're, just to let people know, like, you were never a Pearl Jam fan before meeting me.
Hey, don't say never.
Well, okay.
The one song.
Yeah. She liked Last Kiss, guys.
Since I was 10, thank you very much.
Yeah, so she's liked Last Kiss for almost 20 years before meeting me. So,
pretty much.
But that was the extent of that.
Yeah, completely.
What did you think when I approached you the first time and said, "Hey, I'm pretty obsessed about this band. Pearl Jam is my favorite band."
I think it came across as that you were telling me that, you really loved them and everything, and then we got to a point in the conversation, I think we had started talking about concerts, and you were like, oh yeah, I've been to them like 15, 16 times,
yeah.
And at that point I was like, oh, this is different. This is not just like having a favorite band. This is an obsession, maybe.
Well, I guess people can see it as an obsession. Obsession to me would be like every single day I'm, talking and thinking about them, which is like partially true.
Well, now it's true for sure.
Yes, because we're doing this every day. But I don't know. I feel like it's, when I'm at the shows and listening to the band, it feels like it feels right. It feels like I'm at home. And
it was good to know that you were passionate about something. Yeah,
I think that both of us early on in the relationship have said this a million times, that we don't care what it was, as long as we were passionate about something that was gonna hold us together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but like this was a fun experience. This was your first ever Pearl Jam show, and I mean, you would obviously she loves music as much as I do, and you'd obviously been to lots of different concerts before. Yeah. Like, what was your favorite concert before going into this?
Ooh.
Give people an idea of what you listen to on a usual basis.
I mean, it's such a wide array.
Yeah.
In one year I went to see Josh Groban twice, Sarah McLachlan once, and Meatloaf twice. So it's a wide range of music. But yeah, I don't know if I really have a favorite, but I kind of like everything.
Yeah.
So I'm up for whatever. I just really like live music.
You got injured at a Michael Bublé concert.
I did. I have one scar on my body. And it is from a Michael Bublé concert. But I got a kiss out of it, so it's okay. From him.
This was before we met. I would have roughed him up
10 years ago. Before I knew better.
Yeah. What was now, like, we had talked this was really early on in our relationship. Probably when the tickets went on sale, we weren't even living together yet, I don't think.
No. They couldn't possibly have been.
We
bought them like months before, right?
Yeah, I want to say they went on sale in the winter, which you moved in May.
May, yeah.
So I think this was really early on. So this is a pretty big commitment that you're making very early on in this. Yeah. And what was what was the thought in your mind going, before this?
Well, I was excited because we made a whole weekend in Boston out of it, so it wasn't just going to the concert.
Right.
We were there for 4 days, something like that.
Yeah, Friday through, Sunday or Monday or something.
And we hadn't really done a lot of trips before that. We'd gone to Florida once, so it was nice to just do a whole weekend adventure.
Yeah.
But I was excited. I had never been to Fenway before for any reason, much less a concert or a baseball game.
Yep.
So that was exciting. But yeah, I was excited to sort of see what the idea was. See what your whole thing was all about.
And it's also a different beast when it's at a big ballpark like that. Sure. It's not just going to see them at the XL Center or some just basketball or hockey arena.
Yeah. I'm jumping forward a little bit, but walking into that ballpark for the first time, and we got there pretty early.
We got there relatively early, yeah.
But there were so many people there.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
And it's all diehards.
Couldn't believe it.
So that's, I think this was really the turning point for you with the band that, after seeing them, you knew the hits.
Yeah, I wanted to be prepared, but I think we sort of ran out of time for me to prepare. So I went in a little blind.
I think there was a girlfriend playlist that I made you. And when I say girlfriend playlist, it was all the songs that are very basic.
That was before, I think. I don't think that happened until after the concert.
Oh, that was after the concert?
I think so.
Oh, I thought I made that before the concert. This stuff.
I don't remember.
And, it's the generic stuff. It's elderly woman and, black and the least that you would need to know and the most singable stuff.
Right.
That kind
and
of
I
thing.
still knew none of them.
You knew a couple of them.
Yeah. A couple.
It wasn't too much, but
no, it got me through.
It got you through, and it prepared you more for the next show that you went to, which was last year.
That I think I knew every song but 3.
Did you really?
Yes.
Was it really that? Wow.
I think it was 3 or 4 that I didn't know.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, in 2 years, that's a major improvement.
I know.
And I mean, considering that they played the same venue twice, they're not going to play a lot of the same songs. So.
No, they didn't play a lot of them, but they did play some of the same
Some
ones.
of them, yeah.
Yeah.
The hits and little mix here and there.
But I was listening to them way more often. So.
Right. So I got you hooked, or the show got you hooked.
Yeah. I don't know if it was you or the show. I don't know.
Did you think you would be, or?
I figured it was a little inevitable. It is a big part of our life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially more so now than ever. But it was a little inevitable.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we have conversations about this a lot where there are songs that I've had on in the car or around, and I think there's going to be a lot that we talk about in this show that, she has said before she's heard it a million times, but she can't remember what the song is.
Those.
And usually they're versus songs.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's Go and Animal. You both...
Hey, I know Animal now.
You know Animal now, but for months you didn't know. Deep was one of them. That's a 10 song. Yeah. But, I think you're in a way, but, you know way more than I even think you know right now.
Probably.
So
Yeah, that's probably true.
why don't we let's talk about that weekend and what we did.
Okay.
And do you remember a lot of it?
I think we did a lot of shopping.
Yeah.
We did a lot of walking around.
Yep. Tours.
Was that the boat tour?
We did the duck boat tour.
That was fun.
Yeah. It was just on Saturday and, taking the break.
I hadn't been to Boston in a long time.
Neither have I, to be honest with you. I had only been to Boston, a handful of times, and usually if I went, it was for games and not really sightseeing and things like that, so.
Yeah, and I have never really enjoyed my trips to Boston before then, so.
Oh.
I was a little hesitant, but it was fun. We had a really good time.
Well, you knew you were going to have a good time with me.
I knew the concert was going to be fun, but,
Right.
I just didn't have high expectations for the rest of the city, but we had a good time.
We went to a good restaurant on that Saturday.
We do. I wish I remember the name of it, because it was fantastic.
It was a farm-to-table restaurant.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And we had dim sum brunch.
Yes.
The day of the concert.
That was really good.
Amazing.
Yep, Korean breakfast.
We should find the name of that restaurant and put it in. It's amazing.
We'll tag it onto the info. Yeah. I went to the first night of this. I went with my brother, and this is worth telling because it's kind of a crazy story in my history of Pearl Jam going, because we were in like this random racket club bar that was down the street from Fenway, probably about, 10 to 15 minute walk. And it's about 7:30. And I say to him, like, they're not going on till 8. They never go on time. And we've been drinking that whole time, probably for about 2 hours straight 2 hours, just drinking the whole time. And once we leave the bar, my brother says, "Hey, do you hear that?" And we hear elderly woman. I'm like, "Oh, that's probably some bar that's just playing it." And he's like, "No, that's loud. That's got to be the stadium." So I'm like, "Fuck, we're missing the show." And then he brings up his words of wisdom of, "No, this is just our way of seeing the show right now." So, I mean, it was a little different. We missed the first 2 songs, and really we didn't get in the park until probably like Why Go, which was the 7th song in. I don't remember a whole lot from that show. I remember bits and pieces of it, but it wasn't, it's not one that I'm very proud of because of, my thought to leave the bar late. So, and you were pretty mad when I came back to the hotel.
I mean, yeah, because hours later you were still wasted.
Yeah, which is not a common occurrence
No.
for me. I a lot of people be like, "Oh, I don't drink," but we just don't.
Yeah.
So, especially then. But yeah, I mean, I was ready for night 2, and I think we got in so early because I was so afraid of.
Yeah, when did we get to? Was it Lansdowne Street?
Yeah.
It was like 3 o'clock. I think?
It had to have been earlier than that.
Wasn't it?
Well, we went and waited by the garage for all the band members.
I know, but yeah, I guess I don't know what time that was.
Probably or had to have been earlier than 3.
I felt like we were down there forever.
We were down there for a long time. It was just walking around, and the first show that we went to last year, we were walking around for a real long time too, because we thought, we were going to be online for merch for a really long time. We left at like 7 a.m. and we get there. There's no posters left. We're picking up the scrap heaps on shirts and stickers and whatever. And, then we waited at a restaurant for 2 hours, and we went to another bar for like 5 hours, and then we finally got in the park.
Had 2 long days.
Yeah. I mean,
concerts.
that's what I was trying to mention this to somebody earlier this week, that Pearl Jam shows aren't really concerts per se. And even, especially ballpark shows, but it's kind of like a mixture between a tailgate, a comic convention, and what was the other thing that I said? Like a high school reunion.
Well, and I can see how it's so different at a place like Fenway too, where it's just like nothing but Fenway
Right.
in that area. There's bars, restaurants, but it's all for that.
Right.
So it makes sense. I'm sure that's different at other ballparks where they're a little bit more isolated.
Right.
But yeah.
If it were at Citi Field, they got rid of most of the chop shops at Citi Field, but there's really just one bar. That's probably why they haven't done anything at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium yet, because it's just there's no life around it. It's just a baseball park. So, Wrigley's, the same as Fenway, where there's tons and tons of stuff to do. There's like about, 15 bars in a mile radius or whatever it is. Safeco, I think there's enough to do down there too in Seattle. So, but we got there really early and we saw a bunch of people waiting, and we decided, well, if they're waiting for people, then we might as well wait for people too. And I don't really care about autographs or anything like that. If it happens, it happens. I think I just wanted to see the guys, and if they were nice enough to come over, just shake their hand and be like, hey, thanks for the music kind of deal. But we came within a couple of people of meeting Mike.
Yeah.
And we have some pictures of, me just kind of hovering in the back. Yeah. I wasn't really that close to him, but, it really...
Close enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Jeff and Stone walked right in. They came out of the same van together. They walked right in.
I don't even think I saw them.
Yeah, they didn't look back at anybody. They're just kind of, business as usual, head out. Ed took the time to wave to everybody. He didn't come over and say hi, but... it's cool seeing people in that
and it was nice
capacity.
because there was only maybe 40 people waiting.
Yeah.
It wasn't this crazy mob scene.
No.
So it was kind of nice, relaxed. I think we were talking to people next to us. It was very chill, just for standing there.
So, anything else prior to the show? I mean, obviously we got a bunch of pictures by the monster.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea they did that, so that was really cool.
Yeah, I love, they put, the Pearl Jam sign up and everything like that. I mean, this is just cool little perks. But we were on the floor probably in the second section. There's the A section and the B section. We've been trying to figure it out. I think it's
B5.
B5.
Yeah, I think.
So Mike's side, back a little bit, but they were good seats.
Yeah, I could see everything, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I would sit there again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't have bad seats the night before that either. It was kind of, if you were at a baseball game, it would have been probably 6 or 7 rows back. So, all right, do we get into the show now?
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah. So again, you're going into this. This is a 35 song set? I don't really have the number here, but it's a lot, and I think I warned you beforehand that,
Yeah, you said get comfy, but
Yeah.
I didn't really know what that meant.
3 hours.
Yeah, it was a long night.
Yeah. And especially, there's not a lot of songs that you're going to recognize.
Right.
So, and the opener here is Pendulum.
You know what's high till you've been down so low. The future's bright, all lit up with nowhere to go. To and fro the pendulum throws. We are here and then we go. My shadow left me long ago.
I remember, I think I was just being a snarky know-it-all, just to be a snarky know-it-all, and trying to figure out what they're doing when they're doing it, and, seeing things. Obviously, if Mike walks out with a bow, they're playing Pendulum. That's the only thing that he uses his bow for. And I noticed that, and I'm like, oh, open with Pendulum. And, you know, it comes off as being snarky, but I wasn't trying to be like, ooh, look at how much I know about Pearl Jam. I don't think that I was still trying to impress you 11 months after.
Yeah, we were probably past that.
Yeah. But it was kind of a, you know, it was a sign of, like, hey, just a reminder, like, this is how passionate I am about this.
Oh, I didn't need a reminder. You made that very clear.
Yeah. Let's see. This is, you know, Pendulum, they had opened with a ton in 2013. And I think I got it at all those shows, and I was getting a little bit sick of it as an opener. But this was fun. This was nice and
spooky.
It is a spooky song. It is that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
And I was very surprised that this is one that stuck with you after the show.
I like the spooky stuff.
Yeah, but it's not like your style though.
No,
per se.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I still liked it.
I think a lot of this set list, we made a playlist after the show, and a lot of the first half you really like, and a lot of the second half you can't remember as much.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So we'll get into that stuff. So after Pendulum, Jeff grabs the stand-up bass, which immediately, my snarky mind again says, they're doing Nothing Man. Because, of course, they're doing Nothing Man, because it's really early, and that's what they do. And Ed grabs his guitar, which doesn't mean they're doing Nothing Man. Ed just kind of starts talking, and there's a lot of Ed just going off and talking, and half of it is about nothing, half of it is about things that aren't timely anymore. But this one, I think he whispers sweet nothings about, the ballpark and the city, and then talks about alcohol-related ejections and says they're going extra innings tonight, so pace yourselves. It is sort of just a PSA, so it's Ed doing Ed things. Then he goes into Off He Goes at number 2. I was really shocked to hear this early because you just don't. And I know we covered The Gorge a couple weeks ago, and Off He Goes was a really early song, but they usually don't do it here. I'm trying not to get technical with stuff.
Get technical, that's fine.
Yeah, but then
I just won't have anything to add.
No, but I'll kind of add in, what your take on this one was. It took you longer to like this song, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. But you're into it now.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a beautiful song now.
Okay, good. Nothing As It Seems came after that. That one you don't like.
It's hard to say that I don't like these songs. They're just not like my preferred songs. If I'm listening to them in the car, I would maybe skip it. Right.
Okay. That makes sense. I think Nothing As It Seems is a weird one for that. It's really bluesy. It's kind of downtrodden. It's not really a sing-along at all. This whole first part of the set, while I love when they do the slow burn, I think everything was just a little too slow.
Extra slow.
Yeah. 5 songs to start with. And especially, some of these, Nothing As It Seems I really don't like this early. I like it, in a middle or a later part of the set. After that, you get Nothing Man and Wishlist back to back. And that's just, it's a lot, when you think Fenway Park and you think kind of all the people there and all the excitement, like, don't you want something a little bit more passionate? I mean, you could still do the slower songs, but if you did, like, I think the night before they did All Those Yesterdays, which is a little bit more upbeat, but it has like a mild tempo, or like a Present Tense, which is kind of building at the end, a Given a Fly, which is building. If they did some of those, I would have been okay, but,
And I remember thinking, all right, I'm at a rock concert.
Exactly.
I know these songs. When is it going to open up a little? Right.
But I told you that this was kind of their shtick.
Yeah, I just didn't realize it was that long.
It usually isn't.
Yeah.
It's usually, 2013 they started doing 3 to slow burn. Before that, for years, it was just kind of an open with release and open with...
What, like 45 minutes, right?
Almost. Yeah. I thought I wrote it down. But yeah, it was a long time for 4 songs. And in between Nothing As It Seems and Nothing Man, the Nothing section, I suppose, Ed is making a deep toast and ranting and raving about Fenway again. Really cool that I didn't know this. They took out all the seats in between the shows so they could water the grass and they could mow it and, you know, maintain it, which is pretty incredible for the grounds crew to do. And Ed was giving a shout out to them. So that, you know, finally Nothing Man came, which I was the whole time like, it's the stand-up bass. They have to do Nothing Man because that's just kind of what they do. And Ed kind of says in the beginning, if you got a beer, just it goes like this. He kind of does the arm sway type of thing. So this song gets in your head.
Yeah, it's probably the one Pearl Jam song that I will have not listened to them for like a week, whatever, a really long time, and it will just pop into my head and won't leave.
This is a catchy chorus.
It is a catchy chorus.
Yeah, I was afraid when you told me that. I'm like, oh, is this a bad omen? Because the lyrics are so, you know, basically about a breakup. But that's
has nothing to do with that.
Okay, I'm very happy for that. And then, really, once I got to Wishlist, it was really long-winded. I remember, first of all, I don't like Wishlist, and second of all, you're 5 songs deep. Like, the crowd was ready to implode at this point. I know you like Wishlist, so
I do, yeah.
But again, I think it was probably a little too long.
Yeah.
You said that you heard the song and said the lyrics are crazy, but you like the song live. I know, I'm going off of the notes that we took the other day. You said that you like the song, but you prefer it live over the studio version.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, the lyrics are crazy.
Yes.
They make no sense.
Yep. I want to be a hood ornament.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
But I mean, I kind of dig the, like, weirdness of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially when we were rewatching the show, I was like, I guess I don't really like the studio version.
It's just a little, you know, I've said it before on the show, it's kind of just a little mundane, like, and it just
the live
doesn't
version
progress.
seems a little bit more special.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they all do, but I think there's just something about that song that's just a little bit different.
Yeah, I think Ed, in certain points, you know, the as fortunate as me, like that, he'll inflict a little bit more in, and it'll be a little bit more exciting than it is on the studio album. So I agree with that it is a better live song. I just, whenever I've heard it live, I've been like, meh, instead of, you know, finding a way to get into it. I bet you know, the podcast has changed my views on a lot of different things. So if I were to see it now, then I think
you'd feel differently about it.
Probably, yeah. Or I'd know a good version if I heard it, instead of just being like, well, it's Wishlist. I don't want anything to do with it. So, all right, finally, we get into the hard part of the set, and it's the Interstellar Overdrive intro into Corduroy, and this is right about when the stadium's getting dark, which is really cool. It's you know, the sun's finally down, and you said you felt like the crowd was finally in it at this point. Yeah,
it was so cool to like be surrounded by people who are just like, yes, this is the time, like, let's rock, let's like go, like, we're in it now.
Right. I mean, you know, the first 5 songs are fine, but not a lot of those were sing-alongs, really. Nothing Man is kind of a sing-along, but Off He Goes, not really. Nothing As It Seems, no way. Pendulum isn't really a sing-along either, so you know, finally you get Corduroy, and that's the ultimate sing-along. Yeah. And you know, you and really
like the claps start, it's like, oh yeah, we're in it.
Yeah. I was so fired up to hear this too, because the night 1 version closed the first encore, and it doesn't happen. Like, everybody knows that this is an early set song. So I was so excited to hear it then, that I think I was on such a high. And really, Corduroy is usually such an important part of the set, no matter what, that, you know, whenever you do get it, especially, that was my first time getting Interstellar Overdrive. So, you know, the intro, and I knew, you know, that the intro was there and that it was coming and all that, but it just made it that much more exciting. That gets into Animal, and then Hail Hail. So Animal, we kind of mentioned before. You really didn't know.
I think I learned that song 2 months ago. Maybe.
Yeah.
I knew it. I had heard it. I had no idea what song it was.
You kind of recognized the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1.
That's how I learned it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that's the one that he does the counting in. I got it. That's Animal. And now every time I know that that's the one.
Right. It's funny. Like, these are songs 6, 7, and 8 here. And these are usually, it feels weird because these are usually songs, 2, 3, and 4. I think I had mentioned something to you like that. I thought it was a little strange, but also, Hail Hail is one of my favorite songs. It's in my top 10, top 20 consistently, and I don't really remember it from this night. When I think of this night, I think of other songs that were implemented, and Hail Hail is usually not one of them. Which is, all the other shows they played Hail Hail. That's a major highlight. So. What was your take? I don't think I wrote down any of your take on Hail Hail.
I like it. I like it now.
Okay.
It's not like one I choose to listen to usually, but I don't really remember if I liked it or didn't like it at the show. But
I mean, at the show.
Yeah. But no, I really like it now. I think it's really cool. I think it's like quintessential Pearl Jam.
Yeah, and we had a conversation about it the other day.
Yeah.
About the lyrics and how still to this day I can't figure out what Are You Woman Enough to Be My Bandmates.
Yeah.
Ed Between here is telling people to vote, and I think he's bringing up legislations on marijuana.
Yep.
And LGBT laws, which is great. I don't know what went down with it, but always vote every election. Doesn't matter if a president or a senator is being elected or not. That's basically what he is trying to tell the Boston crowd. And that gets us into Lightning Bolt, which is a really good spot for Lightning Bolt here, kind of in the middle. And this is like a top 10 song for you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's so fun.
And you especially liked the clapping interlude. It's funny, we were talking the other day, you thought that there was a different line.
Oh, I'm getting called out immediately. Great.
Well, I mean, it's
Listen, I know almost none of the real lyrics because Eddie is like the hardest person to understand.
Oh, it's impossible for me too.
Right. So we were just talking about the
open her world wide with subterfuge,
which I thought was cool, unique. I was like, wow, go Eddie. That's an amazing word.
Maybe that's
not the word.
Maybe that is a play on words because it kind of fits the idea
a little bit. Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe he's
probably
with such a subterfuge. But yeah, this performance of Lightning Bolt is
awesome.
Really fun. Yeah. And that took us into In Hiding, another song you don't really remember being in the set list.
I don't even remember it right now.
Wow. We watched this a couple days ago.
Yeah, watched it like 2 days ago. It made quite the impression.
It's a kind of a take it or leave it.
For me, for sure. Yeah.
When I first hear songs from albums that I want to hear songs from, my initial reaction is shit, they did 2 Yield songs and probably Evolution later, so that's on average 3 to 4, maybe you get one more Yield song, and I'm saying, well, one of those Yield songs is not going to be Brain of J or MFC, which are the ones that I'm still chasing to this day, so that's for me. I would rather have heard those, and I think I wouldn't do it if that were to happen today. I would accept it and say, good, we got In Hiding. I would be more positive about it instead of being like, well, I've seen In Hiding. I don't want to see it again. So, but I was a bit.
I don't know if I believe that.
No, I would say no. I went into the last shows. I went in with a very open mindset. I just want to hear songs that I liked. And that show that we went to, I think that first set, there were a lot of songs that I was very on the fence about. Obviously, Got Some is not one of my favorite songs. I'm not the biggest Army Reserve fan in the world. Amongst the Waves can be Take It or Leave It for me. I have to be in the mood for it. So, like, those, I guess, were the rare ones in the first set. But, I didn't complain that I didn't get any of the, rare stuff that I was looking for.
Right.
But we got Tremor Christ that show, which is big.
You were very excited about that.
Yes.
I remember that very well.
Because that filled up Vitalogy for me.
Yeah.
Except all the garbage from Vitalogy.
Right.
So that is middle of the set now, and it's even flow, and now you're finally pumped, and you finally know a song.
Now that feels like the basic bitch version of a program.
Well, I mean, back then, yeah.
I know.
Isn't it?
Well, no, I mean, I feel like now it is.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm definitely not as pumped now to hear that song.
No.
But, yeah, I was ready. I was like, all right, a song I know. I can sing along. This is great.
And I remember the woman in front of us, I guess kind of the same way, where she wasn't really moving the whole time. And then once Even Flow hit, she's kind of like, oh, okay, I know this. Bounce around a little bit. Right. Bounce around a little bit. So, at least you were more prepared than that woman.
I think so. Yeah.
So, okay, this is good. This gets into Sirens, which we have good memories of.
Yes, we do.
Life is short. Hear the sirens. Hear the sirens. Hear the sirens. Hear the circuit so profound. I hear the sirens.
Okay, so the tuning on this is so much different than the album version. It's higher, it's not lower, which I think is really strange. I'm not that savvy with that stuff. I can tell when things are dropped to drop D, but I can't tell when things are elevated a little bit. But you really liked this version, and you said that you loved his inflection on the second verse.
I should say this was my favorite song at the time.
At the time, yeah.
100%.
But did I ruin it for you at one point?
In the show?
No, not in the show. After
months later?
About a year ago.
I feel like you probably did for a few months, but now, it's fine. And especially now that we've been listening to the show a little bit, now it's like more nostalgic for me.
Right.
It's not top 3 at all for sure anymore, but it has good nostalgic memories.
It does, yes. I think this one is important for me at the show because at the end when they're doing the I remember that I had kind of had you by the waist. I was holding you by the waist and we were kind of swaying a little bit, and I remember that was the moment where I realized this was the first time that I ever brought a girlfriend to a Pearl Jam show before, so it was really important to me that I brought you into this life that is kind of like outside of my home, that made me so incredibly happy that, for you to embrace this was extremely, I knew at that point that I was in love and that you were going to be the one I spent the rest of my life with, but this just more than solidified things. I think it proved to me that you would absolutely go to the moon and back for me and with me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I pretty much felt the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been to a couple of your shows.
Very few.
Yeah, I haven't sat through a Josh Groban show yet.
It'll happen.
I know. I know.
It'll happen, and I'm sure he'll talk about it on the podcast later when it does happen.
Probably.
Bitching about it.
Well, I did not mention Daughtry at all. I didn't mention Daughtry once.
Here we are.
Yeah.
You just brought it up.
I did. But, yep, we went to a Daughtry show a couple weeks ago, and it was definitely a Daughtry show. But
I had a great time.
That's the thing. You know, I brought her to Smashing Pumpkins and Noel Gallagher, and, you know, we sat through it, and, you know, we're allowed to go to each other's shows, just no complaining.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. That's our deal.
Yep. And I'm fine with that.
I just won't go to Tool.
Well, no, you're not going to Tool. You're definitely not
going.
going.
No, but that's like the one I said,
Okay. But there was another one that you put the kibosh on, too. Oh, it was Alice in Chains.
And Korn.
Yeah, because Korn was closing.
I'm not going to a Korn concert.
I fully understand. I'm okay with that, because I didn't really want to go to a Korn concert. Right. So what, you know, I mean, that crowd is probably stuck in 2001.
Too many chains on wallets on a chain.
Jenko jeans.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah. So yeah, Sirens was really a really sweet moment.
Yeah,
I think.
that's probably. I mean, again, jumping ahead, but probably the highlight of the show for me.
Yeah, and that gets us into Draw the Line, which is really fun. They played this one on night one by themselves. And here they're joined by Aerosmith bassist Tom Hamilton, who Ed says that he's meeting for the very first time at that very moment, which was kind of insane.
Yeah, I totally missed that at the show, but when we were rewatching it, I was like, how is that even possible?
With all, like, you know, the rock benefits and things like that, and, you know, Pearl Jam and Aerosmith had albums out at the same time, so you would think that at an award show or something they would cross paths, but apparently not. Weird.
What better place to meet than on the stage?
On the stage in Fenway, and then getting to... I wonder if Ed knew what his voice sounded like. Because it really sounded like...
If you haven't heard it, please YouTube it.
I mean, I'm going to play it right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm so proud to see how my hometown is welcoming these guys. I mean, 2 nights at Fenway, unbelievable. You guys are so freaking good. Now, I've been doing something kind of strange this summer. I've been playing with Thin Lizzy all summer, so when it comes time to play an Aerosmith song, some of that knowledge might have gotten crowded out a bit. So I'll just follow along with what you guys are doing.
It sounded like he inhaled 9 helium balloons.
He sounded like Kermit the Frog.
I just got off the plane from Sweden and played with Thin Lizzy. And you know, this is look, I'm not a huge Aerosmith fan. You're not a huge Aerosmith fan. I think they're almost, you know, at least Eddie and Steven Tyler are the antithesis kind of styles. So I get that they didn't want to try a different song.
Yeah, that was definitely the right song. I would love to hear Eddie try Dream On.
Not happening. That is not happening in a million years. I mean, to try, it would be exciting to hear, but I feel like there are other songs. I think he could do, like, Sweet Emotion, but it's just not Pearl Jam's style. That's the problem.
None of them really are.
No, that's why they took a
We were talking how, like,
song.
theatrical Aerosmith is, and
right?
how just very simple Pearl Jam.
Exactly.
In the best way.
Yeah, and Tom is playing bass, a regular 4-string bass. Jeff is playing a 12-string in this. Yeah.
Wow. You thought it was an 8 earlier. That's crazy.
I did. Oh, wait. No, it is an 8.
Yeah.
I said...
I was like, wait, is that even a thing?
No, probably not. all the bassists that our co-hosts on this show will get on.
Yeah,
me
Matt's
for
gonna
that.
kill you.
Yep. John's a bassist too.
Oh,
so,
perfect.
yeah. But it's kind of like that little, before going back into the chorus, they kind of did like this very subtle dueling bass thing, which kind of sounded cool. So it was I again, not a big Aerosmith fan, but performance-wise, fun,
cool.
fun to see them on
Yeah,
stage.
definitely.
Ed says here, oh, this is fun. Ed says here they're going to do a uke song, and it's kind of the same shtick from night one, where he's like, I need a uke, and Kevin Youkilis, former first baseman of the Red Sox, comes out, but without the uke, like he did in night one, he brings out a Red Sox jersey for Ed, and he starts talking, and he's like, here, we got you a jersey, and Ed says, only a Red Sox jersey? And unzips his fly, and what was the context of why he?
So Kevin said, if you're playing at Fenway Park, you have to play wearing a Red Sox jersey,
right?
And then Eddie goes, "Oh, only Red Sox jersey."
Yeah,
and starts unbuckling his pants.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And
then he was like, "Oh, you just get really excited playing."
Yuki says he was like a little. It was kind of like funny and awkward at the same time because you're on stage in front of all those people. I know Youkilis played in World Series in that stadium, but like still you're on stage with Eddie Vedder and guys. You don't expect them to take his pants off. So he kind of said, in literal terms, wow, low blow. So that gets us into Lucan. And
no, but I love the way that he introduced that song. Like that whole interchange happened, and then Kevin just leans down towards the mic and goes, "The next song is Lucan."
Good night.
And like walks off. It was great.
So all the lyrics to Lucan, right?
Oh yeah, of course I do. There's no actual words.
Nope. Not in this version.
No. When we watched it, his mouth was not making words.
I'm gonna Lucas. And I think that's pretty par for the course for what happens with the song. Obviously there's been slow Lucans before where he's done, the actual lyrics.
Yeah, I've heard one time. I think they played on the Sirius channel, and I was like, there's actual words to the song.
Yeah, believe it or not.
I was shocked.
Yeah. It's traditional transition for Not For You. And, it always sounds good. I always like the transition, but I'm getting sick of talking about Not For You. It's just, it feels like it's showing up every show. But he does change the words to Restless Soul, Enjoy Your Uke.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things that you probably miss, like, live at the show or just forget at the end. But this is, like, take it or leave it for you.
Yeah. Not
Don't
a fan.
care.
Not a fan.
Okay. That's fair. It's, it's kind of... It's a muddied song a bit. It's not really catchy. It's kind of angry, But we got a Modern Girl tag at the end there. That was kind of... You have no idea what Modern
I have no idea what that is.
That's okay. That's okay. It sounded good. So, but next song you like? You have no idea what that
No,
is.
I don't.
Because I have all the notes on my phone.
Yeah, you're
here.
looking at the notes. I have nothing.
Yeah. This kind of Vitalogy heavy section. It's Immortality, and it's one of my highlights because A, it's probably top 3 favorite song for me, and B, the dark lighting and the stars that are out.
The moon.
The moon
was amazing that night.
Yeah, it's a really perfect mood setting.
It was so cool.
For a lot of these songs that needed to be, in and outside venue.
Because the world, vengeance has no place so near to her. Cannot find the comfort in this world. Artificial tears, vessels stand next door. Volunteers, vulnerable, wisdom can't it heal. Truly finds
usually when they go to Boston, I think they have to play Mortality because of the original version with the original lyrics, which they brought back at the Night 2 show last year. It was, I think, the first and second time that they ever played the song. The Orpheum version, that's the one everybody remembers. So bringing it back to Boston is always pretty important for them. So you don't really listen to the song, but you like it.
Yeah, I think this was another one that I really liked the live version.
Yeah.
And couldn't sort of give or take the studio version.
I get that. Before seeing this live, I saw this live for the first time in Buffalo.
Buffalo!
Jillian went to school in Buffalo, so she's
Best city in the world.
That was the first show that I heard Immortality. And they didn't do it at the show, but they did a little intro into it, the and I had no idea what they were doing, and once they hit Immortality, I had this kind of like, oh my god.
That's
so
cool.
I've seen it a handful of times since then, and really because of the live version, and there are 3 songs in the set list that because of the live version and how much I love the live version, they became my favorite songs. Mm-hmm. So it does happen that way.
Yeah.
And especially we all know what happens at the end. It's a powerful ending. Matt is the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, whatever you want to call him, behind the kit, and he's destroying it. So okay. I guess I wrote it again, but it must. I wrote 12 string basses out, and I probably meant
really
8.
Obsessed with the 12 string bass.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm sure that there is a 12 string bass that exists.
I don't know. You'll have to talk to Matt and John afterwards and find out.
I guess so. Yeah, but I'm embarrassing myself in the bass department today. I'm more of a trouble person, I guess. And that gets us into Deep. I think every time I hear it live, I say, holy shit, I haven't heard this in ages, which wasn't true because I think I had heard this at one of the MSG shows that year.
Oh, yeah.
But it has that vibe when you, they play the first chord for the first time. You're like, whoa, it feels so rare. But this, you don't recognize this song.
I do now, I think.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Well, we did a name every song off 10, and this was the one that you couldn't get.
I know.
But that's
my white whale.
Yeah.
I tried.
But
I felt really
better.
good that I got so many.
Yeah. But you got stuff like Garden and Oceans.
Well, I love Oceans.
Yeah.
That's on my top 5 for sure.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that high.
Yeah. I love it.
You know how much Matt hates it, right?
No.
Yeah, he hates it.
I love even more now. Just kidding. Sort of.
You're like half our fan base, Matt haters.
Perfect.
Deep gets us into Jeremy, and of course you know Jeremy.
Yes, that was my other yes, I know this song.
Yeah. Sounds good. I have no major point on Jeremy from this show. So, Ed mentions after Jeremy that Boston has a fine voice tonight, and $1 from every he sucks up to the Boston crowds, major times.
Yeah.
So he says $1 from every ticket went to helping out local veterans, and that got us into probably your second favorite song of the night, probably your favorite Pearl Jam song.
Yeah, I think it is my favorite.
Unthought Known here. And you didn't know it before this show.
I did not. This was the first time I heard it.
So, it brings so much positive energy that, again, it's another one that you got to hear outside to get a full sound from.
All the thoughts you never see, you're always thinking. Brain is wide, the brain is deep. Oh, how you're sinking. Feel the path of every day. Which road you're taking. Breathing hard and making hay. Yeah, this is living. Let go, love, will never dance. That you're worth keeping. Swallowed whole in negatives. It's so sad and sickening. Feel the air up above, a blue sky. Feel the air up with love.
what percentage of this song? I forgot how I
keep
posted.
getting called out.
I know. I wrote down a bunch of things. I didn't write it down as questions. I kind of wrote it down as statements. But you said that 60% of your love for this song has to do with the line "Gems and Rhinestones."
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And she loves crystals.
Yeah, I'm a big crystal freak, but I have been since I was a little kid. So
and that's not meth.
Oh no,
it's regular crystals.
The rocks.
There's some people out there like, yo, she loves a crystal. What?
Yeah, we have crystals all over our house.
Yep.
We're gonna have crystals all over our wedding.
Yep.
I just think they're beautiful.
Yeah. So the Gems and Rhinestones.
And I think it's a very anti-Pearl Jam lyric.
Yeah.
'Cause it's, it seems kind of random.
Right.
So I thought that was cool.
Well, Eddie, 2009 wrote that song. I think his mindset in 2009 is 100% different than his mindset in 2004, 1994.
Sure.
So, it's, and I don't think you get a song like Sirens in that era either.
No way.
So
yeah, I do like all the ones that are a little bit happier.
Yeah. Well, that's fair, I
Yeah,
think.
I tend to be a pretty positive person. So.
Yeah, we try to be.
Yeah, I try to be.
No comment. Rearview Mirror ends the set, and that's a 20-song first set. Very straightforward way of getting into Rearview. No slow pluck teas, where they go dun 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 dun. So Matt hates that. It rubbed off on me, and now I don't really like that. It's pretty, the post-bridge part, I think, when everybody starts clapping and chanting before Jeff's bass comes back in, that's a
cool.
fun moment.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. That takes us into the encore. And once again, he thanks the Boston crowd. Talks about how they stayed at Howard Johnson's 25 years ago, and said the moon has a Cheshire Cat smile over the pack, and he was trying to remember what song they were recording in the studio during the Boston Marathon Massacre, and they recorded the song that they started the encore with on that day of the massacre, and then I think midway through they turned on the news and we're checking it out. But the song's Yellow Moon. So another really good outdoor song. I think it's not one that's really a mainstay in the set because it's kind of new, and it's the 11th or 10th song on Lightning Bolt, which is my least favorite album. So, Boom makes it sound like there's an orchestra backing behind it, and it sounded really good.
Yeah.
And Mike is so full. I feel like with songs like this, I feel like you can hear them from miles and miles away. It sounds really good. You never really listened to this song though, right?
I don't think I've ever heard it since that night.
Wow. Well, it's not one that I have on playlists
Right.
or anything like that.
Right.
So I get that. And then we have a serious collector sighting.
This one's for the serious collector.
This is where she's making a face at me. She's like, "Whoa, what is serious collectors?" Ed says this one is for all you serious collectors out there, and they start playing Angel, which, to be totally honest, I wasn't 100% familiar with. I knew Angel existed. I knew I had listened to it.
When did they write that song?
Probably like 93, 94.
Okay. That is the most 90s song I've ever heard.
It's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. There's a weird chord progression in there.
Like an angel, fly over your house. Like an angel, pass down wishes. Like an angel, I'll remove the arrow. Like an angel, I will live. I'm not living what was promised. I am close but can't enjoy. Oh, I'm not dying. Oh, I'm so torn.
this is probably the time that, you know, we have to get stat heavy, and this is a Live on Four Legs debut, so we have to kind of play it and talk about it a little bit. But a couple shows before this one, they brought it back after 699 shows without it being played.
Whoa.
Yeah, so really incredibly rare. It's the 6th time that they ever played it, and they haven't played it since. So, you know, they played it at Telluride. I think that was a couple shows before the Fenway shows. And, I mean, I've barely listened to the song since that night, because it's not even a song that you can find on Spotify.
Right.
So, you know, the band, it's a lost dog that's not on Lost Dogs. So, you know, it's incredibly rare, but, again, when are you ever gonna see it again? Probably never.
Yeah.
If the odds are there. So, and then Ed, for the next song, says that this one is another veteran, a Carl Yastrzemski type, and that gets us into Footsteps, which, it goes back to Immortality, and Off He Goes was the other one from that 2013 tour that just, you know, they shot up my list. Footsteps shot up my list at that time, where I heard it, I think, for the first time in Brooklyn, and this immediately top 5 favorite.
I got sketches all over my arms, one for each day since I fell apart. I did what I had to do, and if there was a reason, it was you. Footsteps in the hole, it was you. Pictures on my chest, it was you.
Happy to hear it here again. Another one that just fills the air, that feels like you can hear it from 100 miles away. And you liked it,
Yeah.
and you liked the whole section where they were doing the sit down.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it's
Like the least thing that you would think that they would do.
right. But I mean, they did a couple of things at the show that
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect from a rock and roll show.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
So, I mean, again, it's so unique because we've seen how many different bands now. I think we counted them the other day, and no other band probably can do this or chooses to do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does that tell you in your mind, like, you know, does that give you an idea of why they're special to me, especially live?
Yeah, I mean, I can see, especially after now 2 shows, that it is such a unique experience. It's so different for a lot of reasons, like the band itself, the environment, the crowd. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
And maybe it's more similar to other bands who have like really cult followings, like Fish and DMB and stuff. Like,
Right.
maybe I've never been to one of those shows. Don't plan on going to one of those shows. So maybe it's more similar to that. But
Right.
for the shows that I've been to, who have a lot of fans that are sort of just like fly by night, you know, like,
Right.
oh yeah, I like them, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's totally different. So I do get it a little bit.
Big long Ed discussion here about Game 2 of the ALCS in 2013.
That conversation went on for a very long time.
It did. David Ortiz grand slam and Torrey Hunter jumping over the wall. And he was at that game, and I contested. I was like, no, he was definitely not at that game.
You wanted him to be wrong.
I really did, because I thought I watched that game in the hotel room after the Buffalo show.
Right.
But that wasn't true. So they must have traveled, had a couple days before the Worcester shows, and he must have went to the game. So I was wrong, Ed was right. But he got basically all the details right there, and then he took a shot at A-Rod.
Yep.
So, kind of fun. That brought us to I Believe in Miracles, which is, you know, it's fitting for the ballpark because they've seen a fair share of miracles there. 2004, you know, they've won 4 championships now since all that, so can't really feel bad for Boston anymore.
No.
They've won their share. But I kind of forgot that they played this one at their show.
I didn't, because I liked it. I'd never heard it before.
Did you know it was a Ramones song? Or?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I just kind of forgot it was there, because I've seen this a bunch of times, and sometimes when you get all these shows stuck together, you sort of forget. I forgot about a lot of songs in the set list, and it's nothing to do with the songs itself, but I think placement wise, and when songs really hit you the right way in certain spots, they become memorable moments. And I was really more focused at the show on like making sure that you were having a fun time and that you were happy and enjoying yourself. So I think that the songs and the placement were not necessarily number one thing on my mind. The other show, though, last year, yeah, like that, I knew that you were going to have a fun time, so I wasn't as worried about it. So, my notes got all messed up again. Mind Your Manners was after that.
That's awesome.
And that's not one that I thought you were going to like, because it's heavy, it's kind of fast singing and all that. But why?
That's why I like it.
Okay.
It's fun.
That's just different.
Everybody needs a little like screaming in your life that you just need to get out. So
sure.
It's fun.
Why not?
I like to listen to that really, really loud in my car.
That I didn't know.
Yeah. Like when I'm in like really shitty traffic or something. That one and Lightning Bolt. I just listen to really, really loud.
You love the Lightning Bolt album, don't you?
Yeah,
there's like 4 or 5 songs that you.
I know. I thought Backspacer was my favorite, but I think that might be wrong. I think Lightning Bolt might be my favorite, which I know is not true of a lot of people.
No, it's okay. I mean, neither of those are true for a lot of people, but you have your own style too.
Sure do.
You like Dad Ed more than you like grunt, like middle.
I like what?
You like Dad Ed.
Oh, yes, right.
We had this conversation.
Dad Ed.
Dad Ed,
yes.
And Backspacer and Lightning Bolt are typical Dad Ed albums.
That's true. A lot of musicians, though. I like when they like mellow out and have some kids, fall in love.
Right.
They just have a different like view on life. And
but you said that about Ray LaMontagne, that once he got married, he became
totally different.
Yeah,
it's totally different.
So, not with everybody.
That's true. Not everybody, but.
Better Man, another one that you knew.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Ed rambled a lot about the Red Sox again, and he was like, "Can anybody tell Dustin Pedroia said hi?" Like, just, that's enough out of you. Great version to close out the encore. You said you were ambivalent about this beforehand, right?
Yeah.
But you heard it live and you really liked it?
Yeah, it's another song that I don't really choose to listen to the studio version, but like when we listen to the Sirius station and it comes on, I'm like, all right, I dig it.
It's a different vibe. This is another one. It's a different vibe live, because when you get to the end, they extend it, even if they don't do the save it for later tag. There's chanting, and there's more excitement. So it's definitely a different beast.
Yeah,
but I like how you recognize that songs can be better live than they are in the studio album.
And I feel that's true for most musicians.
Yeah.
There's, Josh Groban, who's my favorite. There's stuff that I love live that just I don't really like on the studio album.
Right.
And there's stuff on the albums that I don't prefer live. So it's just different.
Yeah, I get that. But it's funny because, Josh Groban's not changing his set list every night. He's, pretty much...
No, not in the way that Pearl Jam does, but nobody does it the way Pearl Jam does.
No.
So, he'll change it up a couple of songs, but not entirely.
Right.
Which is okay, because I don't go to, more than one show on a tour.
Sure.
Usually. There was a couple times I did, but I've seen him 11 times now, I think, 10 times, something like that. So I've gotten different shows every time.
Yeah.
Because they've been different... parts of the different eras for his career, so.
But still, even the other shows that we went to, they don't, They just don't match up. I don't want to keep, like, pushing
know.
other bands down, but
Yeah.
it really...
It's just different.
It is.
I mean, I kind of like, in some ways, it depends on the band, I think, but if it's a band that, like, we're probably never going to see again,
Yeah.
like, it's a one-time only, I don't care what they play. Like, I don't care if it's the same...
Just play the hits.
Yeah. Like, that's fine to me, but if it's a musician that we're, like, maybe going to see again...
Right. Like Bruce.
Yeah, but that was totally different.
Well, that was a river tour.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's just, like, we knew that was going to be different.
Right.
But yeah, like live and stuff, they're obviously going to play the exact same set list mostly every time because they're not really going to get repeat people, I guess.
Probably
I
not.
don't think.
No, probably not. Even though they did.
Well, we saw
kind of
them twice last summer.
Accidentally. We were just in the right place at the right time the second time. So, that closed out the first encore, Better Man? Yes, it did. And then so they have a happy birthday celebration to Simon. I don't know who Simon is, but a guy in
Was he a groundskeeper?
Oh, maybe. I'm not...
He was either a groundskeeper or a security guy.
No, the security guy came later.
I feel like maybe he was a groundskeeper.
Yeah, whoever Simon is, a guy with a Trump mask and very tiny hands came out.
No, that was his roadie.
Oh, that was a roadie.
Because he brought Eddie his wine bottle. And he was opening it for him.
Okay.
Yes, that was his roadie.
That makes sense.
Yes.
His wine bottle filled with Gatorade.
I love that.
Yeah, I didn't really know that until a couple weeks ago either, which is kind of crazy.
That makes me feel a little bit better for his like health and well-being.
Jeff is donning a Bill Russell jersey in this and a guitar, which signals that they are going to play Smile. This is one that Stone plays on bass and Jeff plays on guitar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a
cool.
little switcheroo.
That's cool.
Jeff gets a solo in it and everything. So I was really happy to get it because it had been a really long time since I heard it live. So I was...
Don't it make you smile? Don't it make you smile? When the sun don't shine. Don't it make you smile? Don't it make you smile? Don't it make you smile? When the sun don't shine, it don't shine at all. Don't it make you smile? I miss you already. I miss you always.
This was one of the ones I really did remember and really stuck out, and a lot of this other stuff that happened in the second encore didn't really do it for me as much, but you don't like Smile, though.
Not one of my favorites.
Why?
I don't know.
It just doesn't...
I don't have a good reason. I don't have a good reason for a lot of these. It's not for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
This is not for you. That gets from Smile into Go. Always happy to have Go, but again, like, this is a weird placement for it to go after Smile because it's, transitioning into Love, Rain Over Me, and that doesn't really work because you're really fired up after Go. You want something that's going to continue the fire, to fire you up. Like if they did Go, then Evolution, and then maybe Love, Rain Over Me or something else, or Breath, maybe it would have worked, but it just felt like something was amiss in this. And I know I'm getting technical here, which I said I wouldn't do as much, but
That's all right.
yeah, it's just a little weird. But this is another one that you still are trying to figure it out, right?
I think I recognized it about halfway through.
Okay.
Maybe when they say go.
Well,
Perhaps. Maybe that's what I realize what it is.
we heard it in the car the other day, and I said to you, do you know the song? And you were like, and then I said, please don't go out on me. Don't go out on me now.
It certainly helps. It's a good little hint.
Yeah.
But no, I'm starting to recognize it.
Okay. Little by little, we get you into every single song in there.
Yeah, I feel like I know like 45 songs, if not more, by Pearl Jam.
I think you know more.
Yeah.
I think you do. I think you're selling yourself short a little bit.
Maybe.
I don't think
There's
you
still
know.
a handful of songs that I know, but I don't know the name of them.
Yeah.
Or I do, but not until like halfway through the song.
Well, if you know the melody, I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
You know, I've made you playlists before. I've made like basically a 101 that I mentioned, and then like a 201.
Yeah.
That's kind of like stuff that I know she would like Inside Job.
I would say you really hit it on the head, because a lot of the 201 playlist songs are now like my top 10 favorites.
Like Oceans. Another one. Yeah.
Your Release.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Again, that gets Go Into Love Rain Over Me. Boom is just doing his keyboard thing, and it's a fun song live. Again, placement is a little weird after Go. I just, why would you do something that's a little bit more emotional after Go? I would have liked to kept momentum going a little bit, but that's fine. Just confusing choice. Evolution, baby. You love this one.
I do like this one.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I used it as an Instagram caption once.
You did? Mm-hmm. And we use it as an episode.
Yeah.
In the Evolution series, which are available on our Patreon, because I haven't gotten Patreon yet. So, I've I wish Evolution came after Go, but I have no problem with with the version.
It was a good version.
It was.
I like that,
yeah. That's another one we talk about every single show. So, and then Matt starts playing the drum beat of Wooden Jesus. Made in Canada, made in Taiwan. He doesn't do the whole thing, but it was kind of cool, because a couple months later, that's when I saw Temple of the Dog. Breath here. This I remember because Breath is breathtaking, I suppose. But I remember it just because, I don't know why they always do it, but that little like slide intro, that boom. Excited once I heard it, and I always love Breath, and you love the reach the door. You like that part,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Because I always want him to say, "Oh, it's a door,"
which then turns into reach the dog.
In our house, it does.
Yeah, we change a lot of lyrics to Pearl Jam songs, or
any songs, really.
Yeah, to make them feel like our dog, to talk to our dog.
Which I think most pet owners do. Please let us know. Please let us know, pet owners out there, if you also do that we're just not the super weird ones. But I have friends that say they do that too.
I know that there are people that say that they sing to their kids. When a baby starts crying, they sing, "It's okay, it's okay."
That's
and
cool.
I've sang that to Gordy before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The biggest one is not for you in this house. That if we're eating a piece of chocolate or something,
right,
and he's sniffing us,
yeah,
say, "This is not for you." Fuck you. So yeah, Ed is really excited during Breath. He's running all over the stage, and it's common, but it's just really good energy, and you kind of know that this is coming to the end, and Alive comes on, and this is really, it's the signal that it's the end of the night. We talk about it all the time, and you were at this point, you were tired.
I was a little tired. It's been a long day.
35 or so songs.
The whole day was long.
It was, yeah. We woke up at like 10 in the morning, which is something on vacation that we usually don't do. So, but this was another happy moment for you, because you recognized it and you liked it. And
yeah, I never really thought I knew this song, which is weird because I know how big it was,
right.
But I just missed it. But then when they played it, I was like, oh, I do know this song. I don't know every word, but I do at least know it.
Well, you know the chorus.
Yeah, I had some friends who were like priming me before I went from work. Who were like, all right, you're at least going to know like 3 or 4 songs. And I was like, I don't really think so. I really think I only know 2. And they were like, no. And they kept talking about the song Alive. And I was like, I don't think I know it. And I did.
You did.
Yeah.
I feel like I played you more Pearl Jam than we thought. I know it had only been a little less than a year that we'd been together. But I think I played you enough.
That really was the only thing we listened to in the car at that point.
Was it really?
Yeah.
We listened to other stuff.
Not really.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're making me sound like a total goober now.
Well.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah. We listen to some different stuff in the car now.
Now, now we do. Absolutely. But I'm just talking about back then.
Right.
You pretty much only listen to that in the car.
Well, what happens is that we're in the car and you're like, what do you want to listen to? And I'm like, oh, whatever you want, because I don't want to keep saying Pearl Jam.
But I know that's always the answer. But now we have Sirius, so it's a little different. So we can listen to other stations.
Yeah.
We just don't have to like think about like an artist that we want to pick.
Sure.
But somehow we always end up on Pearl Jam radio.
Well, I mean, they play.
It plays with Glenn Hansard, so I'm happy.
Exactly. Ed invites Jay Mauskis from Dinosaur Jr. on stage, who, I mean, enough people know, but no one really cares too much about, I guess.
I didn't even see him on the stage. I didn't realize it until we just rewatched it.
He's a weird-looking dude. He looks like the guy from 30 Rock that wears the weird hats.
Really?
Yeah.
You think he looks like him?
Oh, I mean, with blonde hair, yeah.
Doesn't that guy have long hair? That we just...
Yeah, doesn't the guy from 30 Rock have blonde hair?
Not that long.
Oh.
Judah Friedlander?
Yeah.
Not that long.
But I mean, like, they had the same...
That guy had, like, flowing locks. Like, his hair was longer than mine.
Well, yeah, but they had, like, the same ideal,
Okay.
like, glasses and kind of, like, dopey, funny kind of look to them. Okay. He was wearing a Cookie Monster...
Stoned Cookie Monster.
A Stoned Cookie Monster shirt, so... this is Rockin' in the Free World, by the way. And it's really kind of signaling the end of the night.
This is when I knew. This was the point where I was like, all right.
Right.
We're almost done.
The house lights are on.
We can go home now.
Tambourines are being thrown to the crowd. Really cool moment here. Ed puts on a baseball hat, grabs a mitt, and starts playing catch with
the crowd.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
No. I if that were to happen to me, I'd be so afraid, like, just real soft, just throw it right back.
Don't beat him in the head or something.
Right, don't throw it off the stage. Don't hit another person in the crowd.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
Knowing me, I would do something stupid, I'm sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I'm not very athletic, but this is after Rockin'. This is where Ed becomes Mr. Everyman and invites Dick, the security guard, on stage.
Right.
And he seems it's such a nice moment. He's done this a couple of times where he's like really, kind of being the salt of the earth and giving a shout out to the little guy that really makes all this stuff possible. So
yeah, I mean, I think throughout the whole show he. Maybe too many times, but he was like very graciously talking about people who a lot of rock stars don't give a shit about,
right? Who
don't even like cross their minds. So I thought that impressed me a little bit.
Yeah,
even if it was for show, honestly,
right.
Even if he was just being like, haha, see how good I am, but
it definitely isn't.
No, I know, but
he cares about those type of people. Like I really do believe that they prepare so late and they go on stage late before shows because he's just backstage talking to like a crew member or something
cool.
like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he's, he came from humble beginnings and he understands that, these people have jobs and they're doing a good job and, so invite Dick the security guard, the guy that's been the Fenway security guard for 25 years on stage because, the guy deserves some recognition.
Yeah.
So why not? And Yellow Lead Bear closes out. So that's the last, the final song of the night. And, at this point, it's night 2. I'd been to, it was my 4th show that year. So it was the last one that I was going to go to for the foreseeable future. So it's really, when hearing it, I get sad because I know that I'm not going to be back in this situation for a long time. That's, besides that, like hearing Ledbetter is great.
Yeah.
But, you get a little, teary-eyed. And that's why, everybody in the crowd just kind of has a moment because it's, it's not like you sat through, I don't want to say sat through, but you put all this energy into,
3 hours.
Singing 3 hours worth of music
Yeah.
and, and listening to Ed talk for 3 hours too. So, all that kind of cultivates into this one final moment. And, Mike does the Star Spangled Banner on it too. So it's a really good overall moment for the show. And it's signal at the end.
Yeah.
Do you have a top 3 favorite moments of the show?
Yeah, I think so. The third favorite was probably Unthought Known.
Okay.
And maybe because of, like, hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And, like, how much I still love it. Second is Sirens.
Okay.
That's
number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was so special and so fun. And I think the number 1 was just, I felt like I understood you a lot better. And, like, I felt like that in those 3 hours, like, I felt like we got closer because, like, I witnessed such an important part of your life. Yeah. And, that I got to be a part of it, too. So I got it, and I got you a little bit more. So I liked that.
Yeah, I that's what I was feeling during Sirens, that, during that moment, I think you understood what this whole thing was about. Yeah. And I knew that, you're such an understanding and caring and, you're somebody that puts other people before themselves, in all situations usually. But, like, I knew that you were going to recognize, that this was a huge part of my life and you were going to really be supportive of it. Yeah. So supportive that we've been like, okay, let's get them on tour so we can do a honeymoon.
Yep, we're ready.
Yeah.
We're hoping for Europe tour next year.
If they do Europe, we're in.
We need a honeymoon location. So, Eddie, if you're listening, we'd like to go to Paris.
That's right.
London, maybe.
We haven't done Paris in a long time.
Right, I'm in.
I'll do London, Amsterdam.
Sure.
Berlin. They always have great shows in Berlin.
I'm in. We'll just do a little Europe tour, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, no backpacking.
Okay. We'll stay in real places.
Yeah,
okay.
hotels.
We'll crash at Aurelian's house.
Perfect.
So my top 3, Immortality, just because, again, like seeing the moon and the stars out and, this being just such an outdoorsy kind of song, that one really, I kind of drew to that. And I'm kind of scrolling at my list because I can't remember what I want to be number 1 and number 2. I'll just say that number 2 is Breath because I really like this version of Breath. I have no other reason, but, just because Breath is an amazing song. And then I think number 1 is really Sirens and the idea of, just how we kind of had a really nice moment during that. So, but yeah, that was a really good show. It was a fun show, and I'm really glad that, you've had 2 experiences now.
Yeah, I loved last year's show so much. Like, it was just a totally different experience because I knew almost the entire set list. Right. So it's a totally different experience once you know everything. But 2016 is my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the last year's show, like, that's my least, the one that we went to, that's my least favorite of the 4.
I love the beginning, though.
The beginning was good.
It was good.
Besides Ed screwing up elderly woman.
Yeah,
But,
it was funny, though.
Yeah. Do you want to give a rating of this show?
How do you rate them?
Out of 10.
I would say probably...
You can be biased.
For me, well, yeah, I mean, like, it's totally different for me. Like, it's not, I'm not, like, giving it a technical rating.
Right.
I'm giving it an emotional
So,
rating.
right, rated against, like, the other vacations that we've had.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
like
I'd
that.
say probably, like, an 8.75.
Okay.
Like, it was great. Can't beat Disney. But...
Of course not.
But it's up there. It's up there. I mean, I'll never forget that trip and the concert. I loved it.
Yeah, I think I'm judging the show. I think,
Yeah.
our time together was that whole
obviously
weekend.
a 10.
Yeah,
but...
it was amazing. Just, it did take our relationship to another level.
For
And,
sure.
I think that everybody in a relationship needs to kind of understand your partner's passions and where they're coming from, whether it be a passion about music or a passion about cars or a passion about I don't know, a toy collection or something like that. Two of those three things apply.
Something like that, Randy.
Just kind of understanding, and I feel like I try to understand your passions too.
Yeah.
It's a little
Sort of.
It's a little bit different.
You've seen 2 musicals.
Yeah.
3 musicals.
Has it really been 3?
Avenue Q.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hamilton.
And what
And
else?
Book of Mormon.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's pretty good.
None of them been Broadway, but
No. We'll get there.
we're getting
We'll get there eventually. It's gotta be the right show.
right. We've only brought it up like once or twice.
It's expensive.
Yeah, exactly. But we still have a lot of expenses.
And we're a family that prioritizes live music over anything.
Yes,
Truthfully,
absolutely. To the point where if we see that somebody's playing live that we almost don't want to see, if the tickets are cheap enough, like I don't want to say wasted money, but we spent money to go see Santana and Doobie Brothers, and they were just like, none of us really care about either band, but it's good just to see them. But it was an hour away from our house, and it monsooned. It
rained,
So,
and it was an outdoor venue,
right?
So
we weren't gonna go.
But it would have been great. We would have had a great time.
Yeah,
it would have been fine.
Absolutely.
But we definitely put that before, I think, any other of our passions.
Oh, sure.
Like, I could go see a million Broadway musicals if we didn't go to concerts.
Right.
But that's fine. Like, that's the choice we both make. So
right.
that's
That's
fine.
exactly, that's the concerts are a mutual passion.
Yeah.
So if I was into Broadway, and I know people that have, boyfriends or girlfriends that are into Broadway, and they go to a lot of shows together. If I were into it, which,
we would, right?
Yeah, it's got to be really specific for
I
me.
I know. We'll get there.
Okay. You did it for me. I got to do it for you.
That's right. Without complaining.
Yep. I'm giving this show an 8.5 show-wise. I think it's really good, but I think that the encore was a little jumbled, and I think that the first 5 songs were an odd selection of songs. I wanted something more uplifting, something that that really got you into the show and got you rocking. But overall, we had a good time.
It was a great time.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody kind of our wedding plans related to Pearl Jam? Because it's kind of...
Sure. Yeah, when we started this whole process, I was like, I'll give you like 1 or 2.
Which that was not enough.
I know, it was not enough. But I was like, I felt like I was being very benevolent and saying, all right, this is our wedding. Mm-hmm. You can have like 1 or 2 Pearl Jam references. We're ending up with quite a few.
Yeah.
We're ending up with quite a few.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Me and my groomsmen are walking out to Given a Fly.
And the bridesmaids.
The bridesmaids are... Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, so we're all walking out to the Vitamin String Quartet version of
Which is
Given a Fly.
awesome.
Yeah.
I do love that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That and Release... I think Release will probably, like, play during the...
Yeah.
You know, when people
Yeah.
are walking in.
It's too sad to do as like an entrance song.
You need something positive, something uplifting.
Yeah.
So Given a Fly was perfect for that.
Yeah, it's an amazing version.
What else do we have? I think Mike is going to play a bunch of...
Our band leader.
Yeah,
Mike.
right. Well, yeah, and they don't know who Mike is. They think, oh, Mike McCready's going to be there? What?
Exactly.
He's going to play a bunch of acoustic stuff. I think
Yeah.
I told him, like, can you play Rise? Can you play Love Boat Captain? I asked him for a bunch of stuff. He's like, yeah, I'll learn whatever. He's been awesome. If he's listening to this, he's just been a rock star. So
Yeah, amazing.
and-
Our music is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what was the we have a sign,
Yeah.
part of our memorial table.
Our memorial table for family members. That
We're
passed.
using a lyric from Light Years.
Light Years.
So that's I
Yeah.
think both of us really got into that song
Yeah.
in the past year. So.
Yeah. You'll have to post some pictures.
Oh yeah,
Up
absolutely. That's why I want my phone on me the whole time.
We'll have someone else take Heather will take pictures, our
right.
actual pictures.
All right.
But most importantly, our first dance.
Our first dance is Just Breathe
Yeah.
because of night one last year's show.
Yeah. Yeah. It
you
took us a
were-
while to get there.
It did.
That was the one thing I think for the about a year and a half of our engagement.
Right.
We struggled with what our first dance would be.
Right.
It was always on the list.
Yep.
It had been on the list from the very beginning.
I really wanted to throw your arms around me, but there was one little part
it
to
was
it.
just a little. It's about a one night stand.
I know,
The
but
whole song is about a one night stand.
I know.
That's not a song I think our first dance should be. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Beautiful song.
probably a lot easier to dance to.
Probably. But that's okay. We had a lot of different ones on there too.
We did.
But you turned to me one day and you were like, I wouldn't mind if that was our first dance song. And I'm like, all right, done. Let's
Well,
do it.
it's because I thought back on the Fenway show,
Yeah.
and you were really emotional after the Tom
Yeah.
Petty stuff.
Yeah.
And they played Just Breathe after.
I think I cried the whole song.
Yeah, and I remember like my first instinct when hearing Just Breathe is like, eh. And then you were still like in tears, emotional because
Yeah.
you liked that song too, and
Yeah.
I was just like,
it was an emotional point of the show too.
yeah. So I was like, okay, I take one for you, and we
Please.
well, we had a sweet moment.
No, I know. I know.
So, and our I almost said show.
Oh, see? This is the problem. This is precisely. This is. Oh my fucking god! This is exactly why I didn't want this.
Yeah, I kind of wanted our wedding to be part wedding, part concert.
Mostly concert.
No.
Yes.
No. Well, I wanted to end the night, the way that the most happiest moments of my life have ended, with Rockin' in the Free World and Yellow Ledbetter, and it took a lot to get to that point. And Mike, who's our band leader, he said, beforehand, like, Yellow Ledbetter is a ballad. We don't, we shouldn't do it as the last song. We'll lose people. But then he played it at a 99, and he realized that everybody had like their arms around each other singing it, and he's like, "Wow, this is a grab your buddy type song."
Yeah.
It's not really a ballad. So he was like, "Yes, we're absolutely doing it." So
We're doing it.
we're doing it, and in a couple days after this recording,
We will have done it.
we will have done it. And yeah, thanks for coming on
No problem.
and doing it. I've had this idea for a long time that I wanted you to do this, and I wanted to kind of, it wasn't really. I guess we shared part of our love story, but it wasn't like the true. I don't know the timeline
Yeah.
really, but it was a big part of it.
It was.
Like how we started to understand each other, and that's kind of taken us to where we are now.
Sure has.
So, I'll be taking a little hiatus. We'll be going on a little mini moon, but we'll be seeing Baba down in Atlanta, so we'll go say hi to him, and maybe we'll do some live videos or something like that during that week. But again, we're going to take the next 2 weeks off. John and Buckley, or John and Matt will do something, or we'll throw a clip show episode in. I don't really know what's going to happen. And honestly, at this point, I don't really care, because I'm getting married.
Yeah.
And I'm going on a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And
That's what matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So for the first time in about a year, I'm just like, fuck it. You know, you guys deal with it. I won't deal with it. And I don't even care that I'm not going to be on an episode. How amazing is that?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for listening in. Again, if you want more content, head over to patreon.com/liveon4legs. We have lots of Evolution episodes up, as well as other extra content. So head on over there if you want to hear more of us. And for every donation, you get to come on the show with at least $1 donation. So if that is something that appeals to you, please do share. And again, I will see you in 2 weeks. Jillian, I don't know when we're going to see you again.
I'm here in spirit every day.
She really is like a backbone of this show. She's listened to me complain about so many different podcast things.
And usually I listen to you record.
Yep, that's very true, because I
Usually
record right
sitting about 5 feet away.
If you hear, some...
Laughing or something in the background.
Something in the background. That's her.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to take next week off and the week after off, or there'll be a clip show or something like that, and then we'll do it all again, and we'll have more episodes and stuff soon. So, but really, that's not my problem. I'm getting married, so we're getting married.
We're getting married.
We're getting married. It's about us.
Yeah.
But, show-wise.
I know. This is about you.
Right. Well, this one's about us. But,
true.
Yeah. So... all right, so this may be the end. We're here, but not for much longer, and although we may be parting ways, you want to say it with me? Okay. I miss you already. I miss you always. So for the almost newly married couple, maybe we can show some videos or something like that to the podcast page.
Yeah.
We'll have to get somebody else to take them.
Of course.
But, yeah, we'll, the next time you hear me, I will be a married man. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. We will see you next time.
Jeff and I were talking earlier, and then in the paper, everything. I don't know if it's just that life seems more precious nowadays, or I feel like I've got so much more to lose than I did when I was 25 or 20 or even 30. But nowadays it could happen overnight. It could happen in your sleep. It could happen to any of us here. It just... Maybe when you get a little older, and I think we're all getting a little older, I look out at the faces, and some of them are a little older than they used to be, but they're still good-looking faces. That's the thing, you're all looking good. Trying to keep up with you. Was it just me, or is it you too? You just start thinking about how precious life is, and then you hear about tragic events, and people are killed in innocent situations. And it just makes me think that we need to protect each other. It's like we're all alone in this together. Thanks for listening.